Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Sauce. This is another live recording episode with the Suited Trader. So yesterday we did not end up catching a trade, although there was an opportunity for us to catch a buy. We did not take it simply because we want to stand tall on our trading confluences, our trading strategy. We want to make sure that we are on point and not forcing any trades. So without further ado, let's see where we're at today. Okay, so what do we see so far? We see that we've taken one previous day high, we've taken about two daily highs. This is a structural high on top of that. So let's see what price do here. Before we do anything, let's see if we have any news coming up. Today is Thursday, December 11. It is currently 8:54 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. So we had news at 8:30, so we're good for the rest of the day. Nothing is upon us. Okay, so we have this daily high taken here. We can anticipate that this is the high that we are headed towards for now. So if we're taking any trades, we'll be looking for buys up until this zone. So that's so far coming into the zone, that's our bias. Buys into the zone. We can see that from this high, let me clear this up real quick. You can see from this high to this low, right here lies the discount range. So we can anticipate price to make a reaction somewhere within this zone. Okay. So let's buy up to here. Technically, we're already approaching the premium. So I wouldn't want to necessarily buy, so to say, because it wouldn't be a high percentage buy because at any point, price is already above 50%. As you can see, we've already gone over 50% of the fib retracement. So it's a bit risky to be trying to buy when you're in a premium, when you should be selling when you're in a premium. So we're looking for buys. We're looking for buys to complete this push if price proposes a clear buy that aligns with our trading strategy. Otherwise, the main focus is to anticipate the sells once price enters the premium range. So let's carry down to the let's do a little different. Let's check the 15 hour, see what we're working with. So we can see that we have this 15-hour order block. This was a high. This was a high. Actually, let's use this daily one. So we could say we could say that this was a high. It also looks like a relatively equal high that led to this low that broke this here structure. Now, it does look like a relatively equal high on this 15-minute chart. So we might want to be wary of it. This right here, it looks like relatively equal highs. So price could potentially sweep that zone. So we'll be careful upon price approaching this range right here. As we can see, these are equal highs, relatively equal highs along the top of this order block. So as we carry down, perhaps in this wick is where a lot of the um, reaction may come from. Now, on a bigger scale, if we go to the weekly, for example, before we carry on down, let's see what the weekly did. So we can see these big bullish weekly candles. If we're getting a bullish weekly candle coming at this zone this strong, and it's about one more day left before it closes, the odds of this zone holding is not very strong. Let's look to the far left, see what we're working with. Okay, so we can see that we had this decisional that led to this low, breaking this structure. We're having a pullback towards that decisional, and we can see that this extreme, this high that led to this low, lies within a retail support and resistance. We can see that this high that led to this low that broke these structures. Left in order block here, was this within a discount range or premium range? Let's see, from this trading range. It was above 50%. So it's fair enough to say price institution they chose to react from there. But we can see as one tap, two tap, mini mitigation in this area, a slight consolidation before price drop, but it did not break the low and it pushed back up, retest the zone once again, and then dropped to finally break these lows. Now there is a huge gap above here that price can come up higher to fill. So let's not jump the narrative and assume that price now um has to push all the way above or is ready to push down yet. So we're gonna have to just keep an eye on the market closely. So let's just get straight to the point, straight to the market, straight to what's happening in front of us. We can see that we're trying to push towards this zone here, which lies within the premium. Price is coming at it bullish, strong bullish candle. Previous day, we've had very minimal wick, big body. So let's go down to the 8 hour. What is the 8 hour telling us? Same story, same narrative. We failed this zone here that we marked yesterday as a potential high time frame supply because it was an extreme high that led to this internal low that broke this structure. We're seeing that price violated that zone. Under no surprise, we could see that we had this trend line. So we're not surprised as to why price broke that zone because it lies inside of a trend line anyways. So now we've just had this 8 hour candle close and look at this, look at the strength of this candle. Strong bullish. Now I closed after sweeping this level here, this previous day high. So could we see a potential retracement because this low led to this high breaking this structure? Let's go down to the 4 hour and take a look. Okay, on the 4 hour, what do we have here? Okay, all right. Let's move this up here. Okay, so on the 4 hour, we have this low from yesterday that led to this high, breaking the structure, and now swept the previous day high. What is price reacting off of? We can see this wick right here hitting somewhere in this area. Let's go investigate this area on a 1 hour, see what is lying in this area. Could this potentially give price a push to the downside for price to begin the retracement? Because after a break of structure, we know there must be a retracement. Okay, what do we see here? Although we expect the entire trend line to be taken, we can see that this high led to this low here, breaking this here structure. Okay, so price has returned and creates and reacting from there. Now let's see, there was a retracement from here from the time that it broke structure. Was this retracement within the premium range? Yes, so price did come slightly wicked into the premium and then came once again in this time, cleaned more deeper, didn't take the Asia high, but this time price took the Asia high as well as a previous day high. So we're stacking our confluences to know whether or not we could potentially get a retracement from this here inducement. Okay. Now let's see if we have a high time frame POI within this region because we know this Asia was swept. This Asia high. This Asia high was swept. Okay. It looks like we can have something here. So let's go down to the 30 minutes. On the 30 minutes, what do we have? What do we have? What do we have? Boom, slight retracement and it dropped. Okay, so 15-minute. We want to keep scaling down to see if we can find something clear, easily noticeable so that we can take Okay, so we do have something right here. So we can say this order block, this high on the 15-minute, this high here led to this low, breaking this structure, breaking this low that led to this high, breaking above these structures. This, as you can see, it was high, low, higher, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, was a higher low, lower high, lower low. So this is where the break of structures happened. So we can say this is where price is reacting from. Okay, so we're gonna cover the entire range from the wick. Okay, and there's also an imbalance here, so we can even include the imbalance. And we're gonna stretch this to the right. And let's see what we are working with. Okay, at this point, I can delete this big consolidation range because we've already taken both the highs and the lows of it. Okay, let's see what we have here. So price came, mitigated this high time frame supply. Now let's get down back to the 1 hour and see what our structure looks like. Okay. So on 1 hour, we see that we've taken this edge. Let's delete this line as well. Give our chart some clarity. On the 1 hour, price came in, mitigated this high time frame supply. Mind you, we're looking for buys up until these higher levels. But if the market don't propose that buy, we're not going to force it. So this was the original point here that led to this high. Very clear on the 4 hour. This low led to so far this high, broke this structure. Now, when we go down to the 1 hour, we want to identify the decisional, the point that caused that breakup structure. Okay. So now the decisional from this point here that caused this area here, this low, led to this high that broke above this previous high, higher high. This was the point of origin that caused that break. Yeah, that gave us this level of BOS right here. And we can see the buyers were in control. So we haven't really gotten into the internals, what's happened during Asia yet, but this is just what we're reading. So let's get back to the 1 hour. I'm gonna just quickly run back to the 1 hour. I say high, low, high, low, high, another break of structure, taking out the Asia high. Asia low was also taken. Cool. So let's get down to the 15-minute. Now let me get to my trading range. I want to see what is price telling me. So between this low that led to so far this high that took this Asia high that also took this previous day high, I want to know, has price gathered enough and then mitigate this supply? What I want to see is and ask is, has price gathered enough liquidity from here to begin a retracement? A retracement to where? Potentially this decisional or this extreme. This was the low that led to this high that broke this structure and this Asia high and this previous day high. This was the decisional that caused this break of structure of this zone. This was where the decision was made to break this structure. Now, we could say it was here, but you could see as price pushed here, it was rejected back down, and this way it was decided with impulse candle to break that zone. So we also have impulse candle before it. So we can also anticipate that price can react from this zone. Let's see how many pips this is. This is about 6.9. So it's within our pip range for a trade. All right, so now let's go to the 5-minute quickly and see what sort of liquidity are we looking at. Okay. I can see a little bit of a ranging market right here. I see a little ranging market right here. Looks like price wicked a little bit to the downside. and a little into top side. Okay, so that aids our confluence as for this zone so far as to why price can react from here. What else? We can see that Asia was printing sells. Asia was printing sells, suggesting that a sell is what the market is doing, and it was swept. So this was the liquidity sweep of Asia, taking, well, this didn't lead to the sweep of Asia high, it just led to this inducement here. This inducement fueled, excuse me, the mouse is moving a little slow. This inducement here fueled the push to the downside to take out this unintentional movement. So let's also go down to the 3-minute. Matter of fact, I'll even go to the 1-minute because we can see the Frankfurt trap as well. So Frankfurt took Asia low, created this order block, pushed up, gave us this unintentional movement. This was the unintentional movement to uh, okay. Okay, yeah. So Frankfurt gave us this unintentional movement to the downside, aiding Asia's liquidity. Asia gave sell signals, failed to take the high, trying to confirm the sell signals once again through Frankfurt by not taking the high. I'm sorry, through London by not taking the high. We get this liquidity sweep. Price came back on liquidity sweep, retraced, mitigate, expand up, swept the top side of the high that led to the overall Asia low and pushed back down and did what? Gave us an inducement of these lows. Also was a trend line. So price swept this low here. Okay, so what does that mean for us? This was a buyer inducement. What does that mean for us? Let's quickly go back to the 5-minute. Let's see what type of inducements we've been having. Okay, so we can see that we had a buyer inducement here. This inducement here was to take this level of build up. This is just what I'm seeing. I see price build up some levels here. We had this level of build up here. And then price quickly induced it to push up here to cause these internal breaks of structures. So we had our change of character within Asia, and then we had this break of structure here during London. And what we want to know is, are we in a continuation or are we in a reversal? Okay, let's ask ourselves. That's the question. That's the golden question. Are we in a continuation or a reversal? Well, let's take a look. We've taken a previous day high. When we look at the 15 minutes, we haven't had no medium inducements of a previous day structure. We haven't, we've closed more so bodies above previous day structures, i.e. these zones, but we have not wicked and pushed to the opposite side from any of these zones. So we can say we're in a continuation. Therefore, our direction of bias is bullish. So we know we had this inducement here. We know we had another buyer inducement here. I believe I see another one in this zone where the decisional was created. Now let's investigate that decisional area and see if we had any relevant liquidity sweeps in this range to confirm that this zone would be valid. Okay. So from the 1-minute, we could see that we had a low. That led to a high that broke this here structure. Price then came back, retest the zone. This was a bullish BOS. Price came back, retest the zone, and push up to the upside from right here. Okay. So we're putting the context together. So we didn't have much of a liquidity sweep in this range. We didn't have no buildup of trend lines. We didn't have no consolidation that was swept. We could say we had this level of buildup here slightly, but it wasn't so prominent for me to say, okay, this zone has to hold. So for now, we're gonna just mark this mitigation as a potential inducement for the buyers. Okay. So now what else do we have here? Let's carry on. Okay. We can see that this inducement was valid. Why was this inducement valid? Well, let's take a look. Price came, broke this high, consolidated a bit in this range. So it gave us this level of buildup all throughout this range here. Price just built up a level of liquidity, induced it, pushed up, broke structure, came back, retest, expand. Okay, so we can say we had a relevant liquidity sweep in this range. And now let's mark out some structure. We've gathered a decent amount of liquidity area. So now let's see if we can also get some structure. We got this 15-minute high, this 15-minute low. No new levels of 15s in this consolidation, so we'll go to the 5. And then what do we have on the 5 minutes? We have a 5-minute high here, a 5-minute low here, another 5-minute high here, another 5-minute low here, another 5-minute high in this wick here, and another one here. And now price is still pushing up. So we can see a slight level of trend line also going through here. We could even say from here. So we have this level of trend line. So it's starting to aid the understanding of this zone so far. So let's carry on. We want to know if price is even interested in this retracement so far. But for now, let's watch and see if we're going to get a potential counter sell signal to this zone, or if price is just going to come back, mitigate a internal zone to just push up here and fulfill the rest of this push. So that's what we have so far as 2 of our possible entries. We would want to see price even come in and induce this low, this London low, to mitigate the extreme if the buy is going to come from the extreme. Even though this low led to the overall highs here to break this structure, the first stop was here and it did not break above this structure. So I would want to see this low get swept and closed out. Now for the 8 a.m. trap that happens during New York open. So the New York trap, let's see, what do we have? What did we get? We got a boom, boom, boom. So we got this bearish push to the downside. So similar to Frankfurt, similar to Asia, we got the same sort of unintentional movement to throw you off that it's going to be a sell market. Same thing happened. Price pushed right back up, swept those early sellers. Let's see why were they thinking sell. So first thing they're seeing is, okay, this 5-minute high that led to this low broke underneath this low that led to the high. First, they say, okay, cool. So this price probably gonna sell here. So smart money traders got stopped out here. So price came back, FOMO'd them into the smart money trap. Price FOMO'd them into the smart money trap, took them out. Took them out, then they see this inducement. So they say, okay, now that might be the sell because price induced above this high, took the liquidity, perhaps maybe even some liquidity to the left side. They might have seen get swept. Let's see. Yeah, perhaps an Asia high or somewhere to the left side was swept, it looks like. And they immediately think, okay, now it's time for the sell. So price pushed down, came back and retest this zone. So then they once again was taken out of the market because they failed to realize that this was the inducement that led to the push up here to sweep that high. And this inducement high's purpose was simply just to come to do the retest because we had high, high, low, high. It was to say price is just not coming here to do a low and push up again. So they were anticipating sweep. This high led to this low. This low led to this high. This high led to this low. Change of character, break of structure. So they're thinking sell. No, it's not sell time. So now we come back. After this retest, price push back up, did not take this high, and they see this push down. So they're thinking one leg down, two leg. Oh, two leg protocol. They jump in for this sell here between this OB and this imbalance. Push down, price gave them a reaction, take them right back out. So what did we get? Another form of smart money trap just given to them right here. And you can see when price came into that zone, it gave them a reaction too. Make it look like it's going to be sell, swept the lows of this liquidity, took the lows of these this candle, these buyers, and then pushed right back up. Then came back and took these sellers' liquidity that was FOMO'd into the sell, into that smart money trap, swept their liquidity, and then price was able to make the move it wanted to begin with. So as you know, as we know, buyers are in control. So we wouldn't be looking for sells within this area. And you can see when it's a consolidation zone, all of the manipulations that happen, especially when you're trying to go counter, it's much more convenient for you to focus on a pro trend during these types of scenarios. All right, so let's go down to the 5 minutes. So we've gathered some liquidity. We've been able to narrate some of the things that happen. So now let's see if we can see a potential buy that comes a lot sooner than where we're anticipating because price may not even push all the way down here. Although this is where we want to see price at, because if we do our fib, let's take out our fib tool. This is the extreme. This low, we don't necessarily have a high yet. So we can't say that we do, but we can see from this trading range, price came to the discount already. So this trading range has been fulfilled. Okay. Now from that low to this trading range where it's consolidated, we won't even mark that as one because this was a consolidation range. So right now we don't have a stop range for price to actually place our fib. So we watch. We come back to the 1 minute and we watch and narrate the price action. We see, do we have any recent 5-minute structures? We do not. Specifically 1 minute price actions that's happening. We could delete this now. It's past 9. We can delete this now. And we can turn off our, actually, let's minimize this. Let's see what liquidities, highs, and lows are resting. Let's go to the 15 minute, see that which one's price is targeting right now. Let's go to the 30 minutes. Okay, so we are approaching. So price is definitely magnetized towards these highs. So if we go to the daily, let's see what other daily highs are close by that price could be interested in. Okay, for one, we have this one here. Previous day high. As we know, we're anticipating price to come after the entire trend line. And we have another one here. Previous day high. So let's see. Price is already close to 1. Perhaps that's the one we're going to sweep before price gives us a potential counter. Uh, ba, 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 ba. Hungry. I went to the gym this morning and I didn't get a chance to make my post-workout shake. I'm hungry right now. Okay. So what do we got, guys? Let's see what we got. What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? Okay, we have the same high, low, high break structure, high, low, high break of structure. This is just basic order flow basic price action. It's nothing too crazy for us to get excited about. So, hey, so it looks like this zone might just fail as well. So did price give any possible entry upon 9 a.m.? What type of mitigation did we get at 9 a.m.? Let's see. 9 a.m. right here on the dot. So price just came. Impulse candle that took the previous day high. Price simply came back and retest the candle before it. This is not our entry model. Though this is a setup, this is an entry that we could that normally will work when you have a high is taken and with an impulse candle. If price come back to the candle before it, it will be respected in most cases. But that's not my entry model, so I'm not taking that. I'm just going to let that go. I can see I have a consolidation range here. It's important to annotate a lot of what you see. Um, gives you a higher probability of your trade having all its confluences. So we know this low needs to be taken eventually. So let's see. Let's go to the 30-minute real quick. Let's see if there's any other zones within this area. No. So as we see, we are specific. There's nothing specifically here besides highs, previous day highs and whatnot that price can take to facilitate this retracement. Now, within this long wick, yes, there is information, perhaps on a lower time frame or whatnot, or it looks like it must be a news wick. If this is a news wick, then yeah, by all means, price is taking the entire range. Let's take a look. Is this a news wick or was this a I don't know why it's not showing me. It's probably too far back. Yeah, so this looks like it was a Newsweek, guys. So being that this was a Newsweek, I don't see price to respect this zone necessarily. Let me, how do I mute this Discord? Let's get back to this action. Oof, look at this. The level of bullish candle coming through this zone. This is definitely going to fail. And some sessions are like this, honestly. Some sessions are like this. Price has a goal, it has a mission. It's not trying to, it's just not your session to get in on something. Sometimes it's like that. You have to look at it on the brighter side. You're preserving capital. You're not running yourself low of your capital. When a big move comes, when the opportunity shows up, you have all the capital you need to take a trade. That's how you have to look at it. You don't want to get bored and just start FOMOing trades and forcing something that's not there. It's not how it works. Quickly, I'm just looking over my journal from yesterday, right? So let me see, maybe I can show you a little something about this. So this is a journal that I've got. It's a pretty cool journal, actually. Um, let's see if I can share some things about it. So this journal right here allows me to journal everything about my trades on a daily basis. So I get to write everything as far as the way that I feel, the way that I felt post trade, um, my goals, my plans, things like that. So in this journal yesterday, I annotated that I followed all my rules, that I was disciplined. We said that we disobeyed I said I disobeyed my impulses and sat on my hands. Because yesterday I know that the market was in a consolidation range, even though it gave me an opportunity to take a buy, because I was not in my area of preference, my high time frame zone, high time frame supplier demand. I did not take a trade. I listened to my trading system. So I sat on my hands. I disobeyed my impulses. I did not FOMO any trades as well. And I said today I was an analyst of the market. It's good. And in my thoughts, I said today was a huge win for me, despite not taking any trades. And the fact that I was disciplined with myself and I followed my rules and my trading plan made me think to myself that following my system is going to continue to be key to my success and keep me a profitable trader that I am. And I said, I am proud of the fact that I was able to read the market and annotate the price actions that I see without FOMOing into trades. And I want to continue reading and doing live trading to hold myself accountable. I noticed that that makes me more disciplined. So sometimes doing these video calls right here with you guys, it forces me to be more disciplined and follow my rules because this is live and I'm posting every single one of them, wins or lose and losses. This is me documenting my journey. So it's important for me at least, because if I'm breaking my rules on a live video call, when I'm rewatching this or later on, I rewatch how far I've came to see that I'm breaking all types of rules that have my system, I'm not going to be satisfied. I'm going to feel some type of way. So I realize this is one way that's going to help me is to journal my sessions, not just through here, but also through these recording calls that I am going to post every single time, every single session. So it's going to be a lot of live trading sessions that you guys are going to get from me. So I just needed to check off two things from here that I finished yesterday. One being my back testing session last night, which I do every night, as well as getting about 6 to 7 hours sleep per night. I'm like a nocturnal person. I sleep very late. If I stay up, I can stay up like till 3, 4 a.m. My brain just be running. So I try to force myself to go to bed early by going to the gym early in the morning. 6 a.m. I'm at the gym. So the only way I can have energy and not feel tired to do that is if I go to bed early. Okay, so here we go. Price is giving some sort of a bearish price action, we could say. Now, we don't know yet if this is valid because if we could see our valid break of structure is way down here to confirm the sell. The valid BOS, as you know, 5 minutes and above is where it's mostly valid. So if the 5 minutes way down here, we want to know, well, you may say, okay, what about this structure here? Can this be the change of character? Of course, on the lower time frame, this is a change of character. That's why this will be the break of structure. And I didn't say that this will be the change of character. I said that will be the break, and this will be your change of character. So if price does, let's say, change character here, right? Just assuming price changes character here. Would I immediately sell? No, because it has a broken structure. Who's to say it's not high, low, create another high? That's too obvious. It's the opportunity for that to happen is too obvious, especially when you have buyers in control. We're in a buyer's market, buyer inducement, buyer inducement. The buyers are leading the show since yesterday. You can see all of these buyer inducements, buyer, buyer. So why would I all of a sudden try to sell? Yes, I am in a high time frame supply. Now, if my entry models show then by all means, yes, we're gonna take that. We'll take that trade. So if we get a two-leg protocol within this zone, I mean, after we came out of this zone, we'll take the trade because we can say, yes, we're within our time base. We'd have mitigated a high time frame supply. We need to see a change of character, break of structure, perhaps not mitigate. Let's go back to the 5 because I did mark the entire previous. So let's say we move it to the real zone, which is here. Let's go to the 3 minute. 3 minute seems that's a smaller zone. The 1 minute, there's a lower order block on the 1 minute, but it's unrealistic. I mean, look at this size. It's about 0.9. That's unrealistic. 3 minute, we have this 3 minute order block here. So if we keep the 15-minute one, I believe it was only 6.9. That's a realistic, yeah, 4.6, even better. So this one is really more realistic. So let's keep this 15-minute order block as a potential zone price could react from. Now, if price comes down and gives us this break of structure to the side, let's say even to this one, but this one was the previous one, the higher low, so that's fine too. So if price comes down and give us a break of structure to here and does not mitigate this decisional and then pushes back up, then we can say, all right, we'll look for a sell from this zone to come down, maybe take out this decisional and potentially come to lower levels or create this level of retracement. Not all the way down here. We don't expect this type of price action to happen because overall price is trying to reach here, but at least to sell down to the decisional. If price comes, mitigate here, push back up, retest, we can sell down to take out the decisional and potentially look for buys at the extreme. Or this next level here, this inducement high, this in demand. But I don't believe that's what's just going to happen right now. We just have to see. That's for the change of character break of structure. Now for a two leg, we want to see that, okay, this high, price push down. Let's see if it starts building highs and it fails to break above this high, then it comes down again, gives us another low that maybe doesn't break or induce this consolidation and pushes back up again, then yeah, maybe we can take a sell down to this change of character range. Not all the way down here because we don't know if that price wants to come here. But here is probable. So a retest of a two leg to shoot down here, that's possible. Or impulse candle, which would be this one here that we've marked. Where is it? This impulse candle that took the highs. Price can come back and retest this one, and we could take the trade. Or even this impulse candle here that broke this zone. Actually, I'll say this one here that broke the rest of these zones, and price can come and respect this one. But the odds is not in our favor to try to take buys when we're so deep into the premium. It's not the best idea to try to sell when you're in a premium like this. You know, as you can see, we're here. This is the premium. We've already entered the premium. I'm sorry, not sell, buy. So we wouldn't be looking for buys in these areas. We're expecting sells to start coming. We're in the premium right now, the 786 range, 618. Price is pushing up. We have a previous day high we can take to shoot down from, another previous day high we can take to shoot down from, or a slight reaction from here to shoot down from. So all of these areas are valid. We've already taken a majority of the trend line. So a lot could happen from this zone, but we're not going to just jump the gun. Price looks like it still wants to push through. Perhaps this previous day high is next, and we can get a major inducement from here. Maybe that'll give us a shoot down. Maybe up here. That's what I can see. Let me speak more from a personal point of view, because this is not financial advice. Okay, I do not give financial advice. I specifically just speak on how I trade and document my journey as the suited trader. And when you hear those words suited trader, I don't mean like shirt and tie suited trader. You got to understand the definition of what it means, what suited means, okay? So You gotta first understand the definition of suited. Suited simply means right or appropriate for a particular person, purpose, or situation. Simply saying, I'm suited for this industry, suited for to be a trader, suited to do this content of creating trading content, suited to teach you how to trade, suited just simply in the definition of right or appropriate for a particular person, purpose, or situation. This purpose, this situation, me, this is right for me. This is what I mean by suited. So not the suit and tie suited, but I do use the logo of the suit and tie as an oxymoron towards, if I even use the word in the right context. I use it as a contradiction or as a parallel to the definition, but in general, I'm not referring to like suit and tie. Listen, when trading is gets boring, that's when you know you're doing it right. When trading feels boring, you're just watching candles like this, what you see me doing, and just talking to you. That's when you know you're doing it right. If you're constantly jumping in trade, getting out, that's not trading. That's that's raising your heart rate and creating all types of um unnecessary, I don't even know how to call it. That's just madness. Like that's not what trading is about. Trading is about calmness and clarity. There's nothing calm and clear about going crazy, trying to find trade, building this and that. Just that's not calm. You should feel like this when you're trading. You're, you got your zones, you anticipating where the market will do, you understand where it's going, you see what it needs to do. You're pretty much just going from an analyst up until you see your zone and price reaches your zone and you enter the trade, then you become trade you go into the management phase because once you price into your trade, now you're in trade management. You're managing your risk, you're managing your position, X, Y, Z. So we've got towards 11 is when I like to like take a step back from the market because that's when London ends. It will be, I think, around 4 or 5 p.m. for London, around 11 a.m. here for me. So if price don't give me anything around that time and it's not near any of my zones, then I just kind of get off the market. I'm done for the day. But if price is approaching my zone and it's just got to the 1 hour, the 11 o'clock time, but it's approaching my zone, I'd stay in the market because I can still get the reaction that I want because the institutions, the New York banks, they're still in the market for another hour before they go to lunch at 12. After 12, it just kind of becomes very, very mundane. So let's take a look. What's happening with GU? Because right now, EU is just creeping into these zones, but let's go see what is GU telling us. Let's go to the 4 hours. So on GU, what do we see? So we might have a bit more clarity on GU. So on GU, we can see that there's a huge gap here that GU could be interested in. A huge gap here. Like I saw this immediately just when I opened this chart just now. So let's say this gap could be a point of interest for GU. And if so, we also see that there is a trend line that GU has been taken, which is this trend line here. Tap to tap. Okay. So GU could be interested in that range. So we can say that this was the low that led to that high that created that break of structure. So let's quickly delete all this. Get some clarity in GU. Cool. All right. So we know we have this BOS. So we are awaiting a retracement because price is bullish, taking highs. Look at the structure. Price just took this structural high. This was a high that led to the low. This was a high that led to this low, breaking the structure. Price already broke above this one. This one right here, this order block, wick to wick. You see, price already took this zone out. So let's go to the 1 hour. Let's see. And I see EU is beginning to give us one leg, push down, break above. Can this low that led to this high that broke above this high be taken out as a form of one leg? Retrace, fail to break a high, two leg, then we can sell to the bottom. But until then, let's see what GU is telling us. Okay, for G, we had this low led to this high, broke this structure. This one also did the same. So this was the extreme. And we could say this was the decisional that pushed and caused that BOS. Let's take a look to the left. What are we approaching? Okay, we've just taken an Asia high with GU. GU just took this Asia high. So it's gonna probably give us a minor, it's probably gonna give us a minor retracement. Simply because when we take an Asia high or low, price gives you a small reaction. Let me also check to see what other daily highs are left resting for GU that we could potentially be targeting. Okay, immediately we see this daily high, this previous day high right here. This too was a previous day high. So even though we mark it as Asia, let's just turn it into a previous day high. It does have more magnitude knowing that it was a previous day high that was taken versus just Asia. Okay, so we can see these levels that are being targeted. Do we have any daily supply? No, but we can see that when price had came to this zone the last time and reacted, this was the supply. Excuse me there. This was the supply that the market reacted from that caused this break of structure, then retest, push down also broke these structures. So on the, let's go 15 hour, are there any order blocks? No, just this imbalance. So potentially we induce this high to take this imbalance. 8 hour, nothing, just the imbalance once again. 4 hour, once again, simply this imbalance. These highs have already been retested. So yes, we can see more reasons for GU to continue this bullish unless it takes these highs and decides to give us a push to the downside as a form of a retracement. But I still see this as a bullish market that wants to come to these higher levels. Okay, so I'm going to delete this here and I'll leave my imbalance. So let's go to the 30 minutes and see what is the most recent price action we've got, even down to the 15. I can see that I had this high, 15-minute high led to this 15-minute low and creating this BOS. Boom, boom. Okay. And now maybe price wants to retrace. Where would we retrace to? Let's say from this high to this low. Premium is somewhere within this range. Discount, I mean, is in this range. Where is there any order block within this range? Okay, we have this long wick here. There's a lot of information here. Potentially price can come back to, as we can see from here to here, what price did the first time. Price mitigated. So this could be another inducement of these lows for price to then retest deeper into the zone and then push up. So this could potentially be an area of interest. We can also see that there was this little ranging market here. Right in here, then pushed up. Price just wicked to the downside slightly. So there's still more liquidity here. What else can we see? It looks like a slight level of trend line right here. There is a level of trend line right here. Yeah. So I'm not interested in this zone no more because of this level of trend line. I don't expect price to give me a good reaction from here. It's actually a channel that price has created, as you can see. So I'm not necessarily interested in this zone anymore for GU because there is liquidity within that range. So I would most likely expect price, perhaps if I'm going to take any trades from GU at the extreme, only because the extreme is where I see a clear order block. That could potentially give me the best opportunity to buy the market back up. And I see now EU has given us the first leg to the downside. So let's see, maybe we can get a sell, guys. All right, so GU, this I don't expect to hold, as I said. And I'm just going to do one more jump back to the 15 to get clarity. And yes, so we also have this impulse candle before. And on the 5, we see, even on the 1 minute, let's see if the 3 minute has a better position. We can see no level of imbalance was filled. I mean, the levels of imbalance were filled. And we can see these potential range here. So let me see how big is this zone. From the bottom of it to here is about 7.6. So I would wait for confirmation because it is bigger than I'll make it an overall zone. So there's this order block here. So I would wait for confirmation. So I would wait for price to mitigate and then give me a lower time frame model to buy up before I take a aggressive buy from here. So that's my potential range for GU since we're not coming from any high time frame order blocks. Let's see, just to make sure. I don't see I'm coming from any high time frame order block to confirm this as a high time frame mitigation. Yeah, so it doesn't look like we've done so here. Let's go to 30 minutes. Not necessarily. And lastly, the 1 hour. Okay, we had this high, led to this low, broke this structure. Let's see within that trading range. From this high, that led to this low. Okay, this was the discount range of the premium range of this zone from wick to wick. We can see this level of order block. Okay, so we did find a high time frame supply, and GU did respect this supply. So now let's get back into a lower time frame and see if GU gives us a lower time frame entry model so that we can sell down potentially to our POI. So first thing first, let's find some structure with GU. We've already done the 15 minutes, so let's see if we have some 5-minute structure. Don't worry, guys, I'm keeping an eye on EU. So far, the only thing we've gotten on this EU, for example, is this level of internal change of character, this 1-minute shock. It's not too relevant yet because on a 5-minute, this is not even a structure. So we're just keeping an eye on change of character. This could even still be a BOS on a 1 minute, but still, it's not enough confluence to say, let's sell. We want to see at least a 2 leg. So right now we've got 1 leg, which is down, break under. We want to see retracement, 2 leg, maybe price induce this consolidation range to get the liquidity to push up. Fail to break above this high right here. If price don't break above this high here, then we can say we're good. So then when it comes back down and break under this low, to take the retest and sell down until our BOS zone here even to the low of this trend line. So we'll see. But our focus is on 1 to 3 anyways. We're not going to target too much. Let me quickly jump back to GU on a 1 minute. Actually, yes, we were on the 5 minute to see if we had any 5 minute structures. On the 5 minute, we have this here, 5 minute high, 5 minute low, and it's where it pretty much ends. So for GU, this would be our BOS zone right here. So we want to see price break structure here in order to confirm our sales bias in any way, shape, or form, just like for EU, we have it here. Now on the 1 minute, for GU, we can say, did we get a change of character? Yes, we did. We got this 1 minute shock because that was the 1 minute low. This was the 1 minute low that led to this high that broke the previous high structure, which was this one here. And we also see that we had this ranging market within this area. Price wicked to the downside and did an inducement of this here low. That inducement served this purpose and led price up to take the high that we've just showed you marked. And from this sweep up is where price then came back down and take the low here. Yes, that's an equal high right here on the 1 minute, but on different times frames, it may not be, you see it's just one candle. So we won't quickly just get triggered by that. Now on the 3 minute, 5 minute, you can see it's just an inducement. Price hasn't closed the body yet, but that's fine. For now, on the 1 minute, we know it's a chalk. And we know this could now be our 1 minute BOS because that was the second low that led to the higher high before the top higher high that we have. So we'll say right here. So we could say this is change of character, this is break of structure, but we'll use this type of a setting as a two-leg protocol type of roadmap. So if price comes down here, gives us this one change of character, and let's say it comes back up here, does not sweep above this high and fails to break it, comes back down and breaks under this low, then we know the next retest potential is going to be here. Now, if it breaks under that low, and let's say it taps into this 3 minute demand, this will invalidate the sell. This should invalidate the sell. Now, being that we're coming from a high time frame supply, it may use this as a liquidity pool to come back and do the retest and then shoot through it because price does need to retrace, but it could potentially invalidate the sell is the only thing I would say. So let's see if the same thing is for EU. Do we have a 3 minute demand? Yes, we do. We have the exact same 3 minute demand here. Well, you might say, well, why not? Why don't we just try to buy from this demand? If price could potentially go bullish from this demand. Well, here's the reality. Same way that price could go bullish from this demand and push up because this was a low that led to this high that broke this structure. When you look at the fib tool from this price action, because now that we have a endpoint of where price reached, when you look at the fib tool here, this is where the discount lies. It lies right here. So this is where we're expecting to buy up from. Above that, where you saw that previous zone we were talking about, for example, on this 3 minute, this is not even near the 50%. This is what I was speaking about when it comes to seeing zones that looks promising from a non-discounted range. It's okay to just let it go. Even if price reacts from here and leaves you, that's okay. You have to be okay with that, knowing that I have to be okay with that actually, knowing that this was not in my discount range. This is not part of my winning strategy. You know what I mean? I'm not just in here to just be a risk taker. Yes, taking the risk is putting on a trade. Taking the risk doesn't mean gambling every position you see out of FOMO, out of fear of missing out. That's not taking a risk. You're just gambling. You know what I mean? So anyways, Let's go back to the 3 minutes for the GU to see what happens here. So far, all we've got is the first leg down. Did it close on a 5 minute? No, it did not. It actually gives us a wick. So we can't assume on a 5 minute yet that this was a a change of character. But on the 1 minute, we know it was. So price could come back up here, give a test, push back down again, which is what we want to see before we take an entry. Same for EU. This is what we wanted to see, that price take this consolidation range, come down, don't mitigate the demand, push back up, because right now this is one leg. This isn't one leg, two leg, like one leg, two leg, and then you come take. This is not that. Even if price reacts to this downside afterwards from here, that's not our confirmation for the two leg yet. The confirmation for the two leg happens when this low gets taken. Excuse me. When this low gets taken, then we have our confirmation for the two legs. Okay. This will become our break of structure. That gives us the confirmation. Same thing with GU. When this low gets taken, this after this pullback, this retracement here, when that low gets taken, that's when we'll have the confirmation for the two legs. So it'll be one leg, push out, two leg, break structure, and then we take the retest and push down. Until that happens, we're not gonna just jump into the trade, oh, because price looks like it did a two leg. Don't get confused now. Don't confuse the two legs. I'm not jumping into that trade is what I mean. I gotta practice remembering saying I. Because I don't want to give you the wrong, well, to give the internet the idea that I'm over here trying to get y'all financial advice, because I'm not. I'm really just documenting my process, documenting my journey. So when I get there, when I'm bigger than what I'm trying to be, no one can say, oh, he don't take trades or he don't this and that, or he's just selling course, or if I even get to that point, he's just this. No, 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 no. I does this. Gotta show them people some time that you does this. Okay, quick. You might say, well, it broke it now. Does that mean we're ready to sell? No, that doesn't mean that. Because if it comes and tap into this zone right here, then it's over with. So we got one leg, one, two candles. Can I say this is a two leg? Hmm. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so I did get an inducement. I did get an inducement here. I got a sweep right here of this here, giving me a bearish push. I'm getting strong bearish candles. Okay. I'm getting strong bearish candles. So I've had one seller inducement, two seller inducements so far. So far price is giving me signals that we have a sell coming. Yes, yes, yes. But okay, so it's reached my demand. That invalidates my immediate sell unless this demand gets taken out. If it comes through and takes this demand out, then yes, I can look for that sell again. But if it doesn't take this demand out, I'm not gonna look for the sell because invalidation model. Even though we're coming from the side time frame supply invalidation model, because price is doing BOSs inside of my zone. We had a breaker structure here, breaker structure here. So this easily could be a pushback up. So I'm not too interested. Now GU hasn't done anything yet similar, so we're gonna let GU do its thing. Let's wait on GU to give us confirmation. Let's mark our kill zone with GU. We have our last hour right here. And our 12 o'clock kill zone. Yeah, we're done after this areas right here. So these is where we are seeing. So now, yes, if we see EU take out this low here, then that's perfect. Then we can say we can position for a sell. Let's say, what would the sell be? We would do this. Let's say it takes the low somewhere around here. Or let's say, well, we do have this level of trend line. So this kind of, let me see, high, low. Okay, it could react from here because this did do an inducement. 5 minute, big wick, decisional candle. Okay, back to the 3. Right, let's go check a 2 minute. Okay, so we have a 2 minute order block right here that caused the break of structure. So price could potentially react within this here supply. Let's see how big is the zone. 4.3. It has a trend line above it. Now we're not taking this zone not simply because of the trend line. We're not taking this zone because price reacting from this demand. Although price can use this demand just to mitigate this zone and push down, the reason we're not interested in it is because of the fact that we're still in a bullish market. So what we want to see is this reaction lead to a break, then we can take a potential re-entry. But until that happens, we can't force it. So 1 leg, 2 leg. So GU now is somewhat confirming it for me. Let me go to 5 minute on GU. Nope, still wicks and more wicks on GU. But GU is giving me a sell confirmation with this 1 leg. I don't like this retracement. I kind of do actually because it hit this supply. It did hit the supply for GU. So we hit this internal 1 minute supply and it pushed down and took this low 2 leg. So we could potentially see maybe a retest of this zone and then the actual sell happen. EU could just react from here and sell down, but I'd rather wait for EU to break underneath the demand to confirm that for me. GU could potentially just do this as an inducement. Let's see on a 5 minute. This could high, low, high. This could be a 5 minute low. This could simply be a 5 minute low that leads to a higher high. As you see, EU still pushing. So we're not yet ready for GU's move yet. We want to see price come in here and do something. Let me go to the 3 minute. Okay, impulse candle, candle before. Price slightly wicked it the first time. Low, close body, strong bullish, bearish intention that close underneath. Strong bullish that close above. We have bullish body closing on this bullish wick. Price is showing bullish intention. So let's not, but then this wick right here, we've had more body to the downside. Okay. So yeah, price could just fall off from there for GU. So boom. So 1 leg, 2 leg. It's a crowded region, but I can see price reacting from this GU here. Do we have this smart money trap we can target. We have trendline liquidity to target. We just want to see price. Let's see, 1 leg. I just don't like this 2 candle retracement for GU. I would want to see like maybe at least 3 candles. I don't like this 2 candle retracement. That's the only reason why I'm not too jumpy, but price could induce this high. This could be 1 leg, push here and then push down. And it finally did an inducement here. So what do we have? Buyer inducement pushed to the high side. Price came back down after the seller inducement took that zone out. Seller inducement then turns into another buyer inducement here. That's trying to push the market back up again. Yep, see, took that zone out. I'm telling you, I didn't like this two candle retracement. I don't like it. This two candle retracement does not scream a full retracement that failed to break the high where price was trying to take a new high. It just fell. So that's why I didn't like it in GU. And we knew we had more levels to push up to. But this could be the one leg. And then if it comes back down, take this one. That'll be our second leg. And we could take the nice test in and push out. So we rather wait for that with GU because now we've got a complete pushback where price is trying to come break this high. And now if it fails and starts pushing down and then takes this low, so now we could even remove this one, for example. If price then takes this low, then I'm interested in the range. From this area here, if price breaks this low, and then I'm interested because now we've got a complete pullback. Now with EU, we've had one leg, same thing. These two bullish candles, I don't like them. I need to see like a momentum. Like, see how this is a complete, or this right here, 3 to 4 candles. I need to see a full push, like a full push. Like even for here, for example, 3 candles to the downside. I need to see at least 3 candles created, whether it's a retracement or a pullback, to either confirm a structure or confirm a price action. If I don't see those 3 candles, if just give me 1 or 2 candles, then that's not enough. Okay, so what we could see here, this is simply a 5-minute low. On EU, what do we have? Is this GU? Okay, cool. Strong bullish candle on GU being printed. And EU, this was also a 5-minute low. 5 or 15, let's see. Yeah, even on the 15, 1-2 candle. I don't like it for it to be a 15-minute low. So I'll say this was a 5-minute low. Like I said, you may say, well, why didn't you just take this buy up from here if you know that this was a low that led to a high that broke structure and price was coming back to it? Why didn't you? I already told you. This did not lie within my premium, within my discount, my apology, my discount, which is here. I want to see price at the cheapest price is where I want to buy up from if I'm going to buy up. Now you could say, okay, well, from this price action right here, this low that led to this high that broke this structure, and this low that led to this high, we even do the 5-minute. Even on the 5-minute, it's not even there. Let's go to the 1-minute. This 1-minute low led to this high, broke the previous day high in Asia. It retraced, led to this high, broke this range. We could say, well, I would say we could use this as our trading range. And even then, this right here, slightly at the 50%. This is still the area of my discount, and price didn't even reach that. I'm not interested in anything here. Even though I know institutions can react from here, I'm not interested unless I am in my premium or discount when it comes to that. Okay, so let's see. What did EU do? So EU retraced, right? It fell this zone, took this zone out. So this was a smart money trap. Took that zone out. Let's annotate. Took out this smart money trap. Why is a smart money trap? Because this was a high that led to this internal low, broke the structure, price came back, we took them out. Now let's see, is it going to sweep above this high? And it took this trend line. So we've taken a smart money trap. We've taken a previous day high. We've taken an Asia high. We've reached a high time frame supply. And now price is retracing back to this high. What happened here? Ooh, even better. We've swept this high. Even better. Is it a high or is it a structure? We've swept this structure, the structural high. We've swept this structural high. So we can say now, if this closes as a wick, we have gotten ourselves a medium inducement because this was a high. This was a high that led to this low that broke this structure. We could also say this was a high that led to these overall lows that broke the structure. And now we have just swept that high with a wick. Let's see, will it remain a wick towards the next minute, 2 minutes when this 15-minute candle close? If so, then we can say we've got ourselves a medium inducement on GU, and we could potentially see sell opportunities. As you can see, guys, the importance of reading price action and sticking to your rules. I could have FOMOed into a sell here and said, oh, one leg, two leg, because I could have been so thirsty for a sell, so thirsty to be in a trade because we haven't been in a trade in the past, yes, in the past day. And then we back here today again. We haven't gotten the opportunity yet. And we're looking at this like, yes, we knew we wanted to get a buy. We were looking for buys. But this is not the area that I wanted to buy from. I wanted to buy from these areas, this area where my discount lie. And I knew if I'm going to buy from here, price would have to retrace here. So if price give me a sell opportunity, I would sell to here. Any of these buys that happens way up here, I'm okay with it leaving me. It's not even in the cheapest price that I want to buy the market from. So I'm okay. You can leave me from here. That just was not for me. That wasn't a trade for me, basically. Now, on a 15-minute, price should be closing by now. Did we close a wick or a body? Okay, so we see a body is pending closing on above this potential medium inducement range that we've just marked. So if obviously we get a body, it's not a medium inducement, it's just a sweep of that high. And we could still get a reaction, yes, to the downside, but it's just not a reversal. So we're not going to be looking for a long-term bearish, just like how we had the medium inducement on EU 2 days ago. And that one was a catalyst for a reversal in the market. And we've been bullish since this medium inducement that happened here, right here. This happened on what, was it Tuesday? Yeah, this medium inducement from Tuesday that we caught a buy with. We've been bullish since. It's a catalyst for a reversal. And it happened at our key time window at 10 o'clock. So this one right here, see how price tries to be tricky. Look at this. Look at this madness. Rather than closing with a strong body, it slightly does it to kind of give you the intention that maybe it did or maybe it did. That's why you have to zoom in. When I zoom in, I can tell price close it with a body. Now, this bearish push is a retracement that price potentially can do. Potentially. Why? Because it's closed above a body. So now it needs to retrace to find a point of liquidity. So now we can say if we've gotten this 15-minute BOS above this zone, we know this is our discount, but because of this body close, this range right here can somewhat become a interest, a point of interest that price can react from to push the market back up bullish. So let's investigate it. So now this is a point where we can say, before we call it a smart money trap, let's make it a demand zone once again. Unless price gives us a two-leg or change of character, break of structure, pushes back, mitigate the supply before coming here, then we'll say it's a smart money trap. But for now, let's investigate this here zone. Did we have any relevant liquidity buildups and sweeps in this area? No, not really. Nothing significant. I'm not fond of it, to be honest, at all. Even if price reacts from here, I'm just not interested. Price could sweep this low, tap here, give us a move up to continue the bullish intention. That's fine. Why am I not interested? Because there was no relevant liquidity sweep here. There was no build-up inducements in that zone. Even, let's see this one. See this one here that I'm aiming for. I have that. I have this level of build-up right here. These areas of build-up where price was not clear on where it wants to go. Then it came up, induced it, and then pushed out. Yeah, I like this area for a sell, for a buy. Of course, I like this. Why? Because it shows me there was a strong price action here. Strong price action. So I'll take a buy from this range. From this one, there's nothing. No build up, no inducement, just straight bearish, bearish, boom, bullish, and left. No liquidity was swept. Okay, so let's carry on from here. Go back to the 1 minute. Oh, we are on 1 minute. Let's see if price is going to give us a, once again, two leg. But so far, you can see we only had two bearish candles, so I can't really count that as much. So this could be the push of the first leg. We want to see it come back up. Don't take this high. Second leg, and then we enter from the retest to take out these lows. So let's leave GU alone. Let GU do what it needs to do. In the meantime, between time, let's get back to EU, our obedient child. So what did we get from EU? EU came back to the zone, failed to break it. Meanwhile, GU came to the zone and broke the zone, induced it. So like I said, this is not a medium inducement no more. This became an inducement high. Or we can just say it swept it. Just say it swept it. So GU swept the zone. Sellers are trying to show their force. Sellers are trying to say, hey, we are here and we're trying to make noise. Let's also see, where did the wick stop at? Did we take a different one? Let me see, did it take this one? No, it didn't take this wick, which I don't believe is a structural zone. I think it was on a 1 hour that we marked this order block. So maybe we could have potentially include the entire from this. We could have included this entire high. Yeah, we could have included this entire high. Yeah, because this was a bearish. This was a retest inducement break. So we could have included it. Let's say we include this entire high, which makes sense as to why it didn't give us a medium inducement. Because in areas where you have these wicks so close to each other next to where you mark your structural high time frame or supply or demand, you can include the entire high of that range. In this case, this next wick, because I am on a 1 hour on a lower time frame, the range is a lot more clear. So we can say right here, GU is slightly still within this high time frame supply. Yeah. So this now becomes our break of structure low because this was the new 5 minute. So price would have to break underneath this zone to give us sales confirmation. No longer the bottom one anymore. Same thing with EU. We would have to see the break happen from this zone, not the previous one that I had marked. This is our new 5 minute trading range. But if it continues up here, it breaks this high, the bullish party continues. And literally just gives us another day of being the analyst, which is better than being the person who took a stop loss from FOMO, took a stop loss from breaking rules, took a stop loss from being undisciplined, took a stop loss from not knowing what they are doing. We're not that. That's not what we do. But in the meantime, let's say, for example, you want to know, well, how long have I been trading? I started trading August 12th. I remember the exact date. I just came back from Argentina. I was on tour down there. So just a little context. Before trading, I was a musician. I was doing shows in different countries. I was traveling. And I'm not gonna try to bring my music career into this, so don't expect me to be going in details about all that. But that's what I was doing. I was more invested into my music career, and I spent a lot of time out of the country doing shows, touring, and just kind of recording. And one time I had a conversation with my brother about me wanting to just have something to do when I'm not recording. I'm like, bro, I want to like be able to still make money when I'm not doing shows, when I'm not recording, when I'm not doing X, Y, Z. I want to still be able to print money because out the country, I couldn't really do much because not where I'm from. So he suggested to me, he introduced me to Urimi University. That's where I started my journey of learning how to trade this strategy. So I spent like I came back from Argentina August 12th. I believe it was a Sunday or something. No, no, no. I came back. This August 12th was a Monday. I came back August 11th, which was a Sunday. That Monday, I woke up. I started. I bought the Urimi University course. At the time, it was 99 pounds. I bought the course and I binge watched the entire course for 2 weeks straight. First week, went through it all, rewatched. On the second week, I rewatched the same course again just to confirm what I learned. And then on the third week, I started like forward testing, going in the market, seeing what I could do. On the fourth week, I continued back testing. That was 1 month in. By the second month, I started demo testing. Got a demo account, started trying to trade. Oh my goodness. I was going crazy, not hitting TPs or nothing, going crazy, like learning about all my impulses. I was greedy. I was so stubborn, hard-headed, FOMO, revenge trading. I was doing all of the breaking all of the rules you could think of. I was doing it all in the second month of my trading. So after the towards the end of the second month, I'm like, okay, this is not gonna work. Um, then I said, okay, I'm gonna go live because I know this live, if I trade live money, it's gonna force me to be disciplined because this is real money. So I went live, started trading live. Oh my goodness, I'm losing money. I'm not making as much FOMO bad trades as I was before, but I'm still hitting stop losses. I didn't fully have an understanding of structure yet. I was still having trouble with market structure and all these things. So it was rough until then. My brother finally spoke with me, gave me a better understanding of market structure. He kind of showed me the certain videos that I should focus on and watch to help me with the market structure. Okay, so we had one leg push, two leg potentially on GU because we had three candle retracement, not just one, but one, two, three, four, even though there was this one bearish one. With EU, we had this high, this low, this high broke. We want to see this new high now that I wicked above, push to the downside, breaking this low, giving one leg, potentially two leg, and then we could sell down to the BOSs and this. I could take this out now as a change of character to take out this demand. But for now, we don't have that confirmation for EU yet, and same thing for GU. The only reason why, like I said, I'm looking for sales, even though we have more premium levels to go into. I mean, more highs and structures to hit, by the way, is because we are now inside of a premium zone in the market. So you don't want to buy in premium. Like you don't want to buy when the market is when the market is high. You want to sell when price is high, and you want to buy when price is low. You know, you've heard of the term buy high, sell high, buy low. Basic, this is the basics of merchandising, you know. So right now we understand that this will be our 5 minute breakup structure to confirm the sales. But if price comes down and mitigates here, pushes up, then it's over for that, which could be our catalyst to take a buy from here simply because if EU leaves from here and let's say breaks above this zones and continue higher, bullish intentioned, then we can use this in divergence to say that because GU has broke above here, it can now use this low as an inducement to mitigate this demand to then give us a buy from this here zone up until maybe this previous day here, or let's say we take it to like a 1 to 3, it will be like till about right here. You take it from a 1 to 3. Let me see on the 5 minute, is it a better zone? 3, if it's bigger, what is an imbalance? So you can say within this imbalance. So then it gives you a 4 pip stop loss. Then your 1 to 3 would be about right, right here. Yeah, just a little extra. Yep. We'll be right about right here. So that would be the probability of GU giving you like a last, a divergent buy because EU have already left from that same zone. And if it leads to this breakup structure targeting this previous day high, then you could see that GU might do the same. But for EU, what we're seeing also is this level of trend line that's being built. So price could possibly come lower. Lower to where? Maybe somewhere here to start the retracement. GU, is it doing the same trend line or not? No, it's giving us actually the bearish order flow. One leg, two leg. Oops. Now the question is, do I have a sell opportunity here for GU? Because I've got now one leg retracement, two leg. This could potentially be my sell window right here. I could potentially see a sell from here, covering these highs, up, covering the high, and targeting this here low. What do you guys think? High, low, high. Because this right here could easily just be a high, low, then tap this 5-minute supply and push up, create a high again. Because as you can see, EU still bullish. So it's risky. It's a risk because we know GU needs to come down to the zone if it's gonna buy up. So this could be where we do take the sell from here and target this here zone. So let's try this. Because of the confluence of the two leg, I'm gonna give GU a try, right? I'm gonna give GU a try. We're going to position ourselves for a sell. Stop loss is going to be above. Where is the zone? Okay, let me type in the coordinate 1.34265. Oh wait, this is EU. Sorry, that's why. GU. Okay, so 1.34265. And we're gonna go for a let's see. One leg, two leg. And we could potentially say that um, GU could potentially give us a sell down. So we position ourselves for a we're positioning, I should say, we're positioning ourselves for a sell opportunity in GU based off of this one leg, two leg in this zone. Now it's not the highest um highest probability only because you can see prices doing breaks of structures in this zone. So prices are probably more likely inclined to take this entire zone. And as you can see here in EU, even though we're building this channel, in order for price to come low or go high, it needs to come low. In order for it to go low, it needs to go high. So depending on what price giving us, and we can see strong bullish intention right here with GU. If we go to the 5-minute, oops, that's the wrong section. We go to the 5-minute of GU, we can see that there's strong rejection that happened here. So let's see if the market is ready to sell down. What do we have so far here? we can see that there is this equal high right here. Okay, we have a level of equal high. That's right. Price just now pushing towards the equal high. We also have this level of trend line. So we can see that price could sweep this here liquidity and push deeper into that zone. So that's why this area right here wouldn't be the best. I mean the safest, but we do, if we are to be held in this trade, it would have to, we'd have to cover these highs. You'd want to cover the trend line and the equal highs, because that could be a catalyst for price to induce. So let's not forget that. Okay. But based on our trading strategy, we've gotten one leg, two leg. We didn't mitigate any demand, but we did come into this impulse candle here, which could be the catalyst for price to come sweep and cause this inducement. But the equal high hasn't been taken. So that too can still be a reason for price to push up one more time, although it did take the trend line. But we will see what happens. We gotta let the market do its thing. So we know that this was swept, and this high was also swept as a form of an inducement. And what makes it a true inducement is if it leads to a break of structure. It has to lead to a BOS to confirm that it was a true inducement. Now, EU is just stalling. So GU gave us somewhat of a two leg, but EU is stalling. So with GU, we could say this was one leg, and I'll kind of annotate. This was like, we could say this was one leg right here. And then we can say this was the second leg right here. Yeah. So that's the potential of that trade, is that this could be the one leg, two leg, and price could just come to target this demand before the buy or whatnot. So this is just the part where you watch price action play out. Let's move this out of the way. And let's allow the market to do its thing. So let's say we'd say right about to these lows. Well, the 1 to 3 was, this is the 1 to 2.3. So 1 to 3 is about right here, right before the mitigation of the demand. Okay, so and it's within the key time window. It's not 11 o'clock yet, still fresh. So it's a matter of just letting price do its thing. Now, EU has finally induced slightly above the range, the zone. So EU has induced this high, which high, oops, sorry about that. EU has induced the high. Which high is that? Let's see. Okay, this structural high, was it a 15-minute structural high? Yes, it was. So EU took the wick of this high, still has this leftover wick. So we can say if we took the overall high, it would be up to this wick. EU still has more room to go, but it can also begin the retracement from there. But we know that that high was taken. Okay. So let's go back to the 1 minute on EU. And we know that this BOS would be the confirmation for us for the sell. The two leg is just a probability when it's coming outside of a high time frame zone like this. It's a probability. But when you get a breakup structure of the 5 minute, that's a higher confluence. That's a higher odd of your sell being valid. Right here, this is not a full-on valid sell yet, simply just because we got the two leg. Because this could just be a two leg retracement. Because if we use our fib tool to say from this low to this high that price reached, it came to 6.18, which was where this impulse candle that broke above this high, candle before it, which is this one here, price gave a reaction from that. So this impulse candle could be the catalyst for price to buy up some more and reach up to this 0.27 range. So that so I say that to say basically this two leg, because this was a low that led to this high that broke structure, we can't necessarily say, okay, this two leg is the reason why price needs to sell off, because a two leg protocol alone is not enough confluence to say just sell. You have to add the context together, as we could see. One, two, yes, but this simply could just be price action, higher, high, low, mitigate, high, sweep high, low, retest, push up to the higher high. Easily could just be that. Now, why didn't we position ourselves for a buy here? Once again, at the end of the day, even though we know we're targeting these higher range, we are inside of this premium range. This premium price action is happening inside of the 6.18 on a higher time frame. So easily price could begin turning around from here. So before I position myself for a buy when I'm already in a premium area of the market, before I position myself, let me take this out. Before I position myself for that type of a buy, I need to wait and get that confirmation. And especially after I've had a BOS price, it needs to retrace. That doesn't mean I need to project when the retracement needs to happen. But that's phase one right here. Reveal if the market intent has been made. So we know what may come next is the internal price action. So anyways, as we could see, price is and still bullish within this range. I don't see the intentions yet. If taking out the equal highs, induce this zone. We don't have any reasons for price to go bearish yet. We could see that we had this strong bullish candle. We had this wick came, created equal lows. It's not enough for price to say, oh, I'm going back bearish. So I believe this will be a push up to take out this high. Okay, so let's watch this price action. Anyways, like we said, if it was to come to a buy, it would be more so within this range because of this low that led to this high. We'd want to see this get induced to mitigate the extreme to push higher. But price did not. Instead, it just came to this impulse candle, and that's okay. When our high probability trade comes, we will know because it won't be so confusing and complex. We will know very clearly that this is our position. This is our entry. So as you can see, granted, we did get a two-leg protocol, but that was not a two-leg protocol for a sell confirmation like we have here. Like we have here in our confluence checklist. You see what it says at the bottom? Wait for 5-minute BOS. wait for the 5-minute BOS, which was down here. So this does not confirm the sell alone. We get this 5-minute break of structure or an inducement of it, then we could have said that. Or if we would have got an inducement of this high and not a BOS, this low that led to the side, not a body close, but a wick, then we could have said, okay, potentially we're going to be going bearish to the downside. Even on a 15-minute, we got a body. So that lets us know that price is not ready to go lower yet. It wants to come higher. That's why I mentioned this area as a potential continuation for the buy, to take out the rest of this zone because we're so close and price is already pushing out of it. Okay. So we can take this out because it doesn't look like the market is going to come back to this zone anytime soon. Okay, what did price do here? It came, it gave this fake inducement to invite more sellers in. It's trying to invite more sellers in to the idea that it's going to respect this zone. And most likely it's going to take them right back out. So quick context, a trade like this is a trade that I used to take where price, bullish intention, momentum candle, impulse candle, break of structure, and candle before, price, BOS to the upside, comes back, let me buy up. These used to be trades that I used to take all the time. The reason I stopped trading with this level of, with that level of aggression and uh, with I stopped trading this level of aggression and you know, just being so direct with the market is because I learned within myself that's where a lot of my impulsiveness was. I was creating this version of me that was just taking reckless trades simply because I kept telling myself, I'm seeing something, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that. Granted, yes, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that, but it doesn't align with my system. Even let's say for my system for continuation, the reason I wouldn't want to continue even from this range or from this trade is because there's lower levels that I would want to see. I would want to buy it from. I would have rather buy it from here than here. So this just wasn't for me. In another world or another trader would easily take this. I mean, I know my mentor, he's probably took this trade right here. This is because he reads the market to this degree of knowing where price is going to react from, especially when it's like those 1 minute reads. You know what I mean? So for me, it's more about just allowing my confluence of my trading plan to just play out. Because for me, that's a lot more, I feel a lot more confident taking those trades versus the ones where I'm rushing or I'm taking, these types of entries. So I see this trend line building here. So perhaps price can push down, do an inducement of this low, and then continue up. As far as to this low here, could this still happen? Let's see, maybe if this inducement does, but I think this is just going to consolidate to trap some buyers and sellers, then do an inducement and push higher. But I don't see price to just want to come down right now. But let's see. Because EU, I'm looking at what EU is doing. EU is pushing towards its previous day high. GU's previous day high is above. Let me see if I can go to a higher time frame, move this closer. So as you can see, GU's previous day high is right here. And we've had strong bullish candles coming into this range. Now right here we close with a wick on the 5-minute. It was a wick, it wasn't a body. On the 15, it was similar, wick, not a body, but the strength of this bullish candle is showing that price wants to go up. So yeah, I don't see price stopping. I see price continuing up for GU to fulfill the previous day high and close out. So what we got from EU today, during the New York session was a continuation. Price continued what London was doing, which was buying the market up to this zone and through these zones, a continuation from 2 days ago or yesterday and the day before of the bullish intention. What we got was a continuation. So let's just say, um, damn. See it come sweep potentially this trend line, potentially, and then price could buy up from this range. We go from this low to this high. This is where the discount is. Then there's this order block right here. Yeah, but I don't see price to try to make this um push all the way here and back up. That would be a lot of price action. Just this looks like it's starting to consolidate anyways. EU, on the other hand, is just inside of this channel, literally just channeling its way up. Just channeling its way up the market. And well, we're 10 minutes to 11. Granted, we are inside of a POI that could potentially give us a move. And we're also around some zones that could potentially give us a buy, such as this demand next to the impulse, but I don't see price to come that low because it did induce that high. If anything, maybe this high, let me see, did it lead to, okay, led to change of character, break structure, price induced it. If it does any price action to the downside, it would also be to sweep, to maybe do an inducement of this low. And this mitigation here could then give us the price action to the upside for the rest of the day to continue. EU has made up his mind. It's going for the previous day high. So this demand here was the entry for EU, but like I said, we weren't interested in that zone simply because this was a break and retest area. Oops, keep mixing these up. For EU, this was simply a break and retest area, which is an area of liquidity. We do not enter from those liquidity areas. As you can see, price broke above the zone. Let's go to the 10 or 15 minutes, or even the 3 minutes. Price broke above the zone, retest. So we can mark this right here, even though it's a previous day high. Now that it's been taken, we could say this was our break retest. So price invited the break and retest traders in right here. So this is the entry, the invitation for the break and retest traders. This is not for us. So price can break, retest, pushed out, came back, mitigate, expand. This zone will eventually later on be taken because the break and retest traders are still in the trade. This zone right here may be a reaction though, because we had levels of liquidity that was swept inside of this range. This build up that came later was induced to push out to cause the BOS. We can see this range, price broke the low, broke the lie. So this could be the retest area where price then continues back bullish in this 3-minute order block right here. So as for GU, we are gone off this impulse and this should target also the previous day high. So let's delete this inducement. Same with EU. Let's delete this seller inducement. And yeah. So once again, we were reading price action up until our zones. We can see that this zone has now failed. Same for EU. This zone has also failed. We know that EU is approaching this daily supply. We're awaiting this previous day high, and this daily supply. And for GU, we are approaching this level of trend line. As we could see from the daily, the last break of structure we had to the downside was here. This high led to this low, broke this structure. And if we do our fib tool, we can see that the premium discount range for GU is up here. So we're approaching that area as well. So let's keep this here for GU. So GU's probably after sweeping or within the sweep of this trend line, we may begin to see some sells. EU's approaching this daily supply, where we could possibly start seeing some potential sells. So we're watching price action reach our POI. We're taking this trend line. So far, we've pretty much swept this entire trend line. So we can say this trend line is swept. And we reacted outside of this consolidation. I mean this premium area. Okay. Yeah, it's the end of the session, end of the hour. I don't see GU or EU to give us anything with significant movement. As you can see, the price is already slowing down. The market's already slowing down in volume. It's not much price action going on. As I told you, this area was just where price was inviting early sellers in, simply to take them out, to give them the illusion that we're coming down to this here zone. So he just took them out. But if price did, this would be the area where we'd expect for the buy to happen. But we know that this was just a setup because we haven't reached our previous day high yet. EU, what are you telling me? Yeah, same. EU still within the channel. It wicked slightly above this channel, but it's not, I don't, do I say it? I'm not taking this as a true inducement above the channel. I need to see a little bit more. Maybe take the previous day high, then I can say, okay, now it has some liquidity that can help it push to the downside. But this is not confirmation for me. So yes, so we watched and we saw how the market moved today in a sense of, okay, we have another 5 minute. 1, 2, not really, but yes, sort of. One, bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish. I wouldn't call this a 5 minute structure, actually. It's not enough bearish momentums. So yeah, this is what we have today in the price action. It's about to be 11 o'clock in the next 4 minutes. London is about to exit the chat. So at this point, it's about 1 more hour for the session. The only thing I can see is a possible mitigation if London pushed the market down to this here demand is a final push to the buy side that might finish off to take the previous day high, or simply an inducement of this low to then push the high, because price don't necessarily have to come all the way down. It already wicked a little bit into the 618, so it doesn't have to. So it can just simply induce this this build up kind of level right here. We could say this is a level of build up that price can just induce and then push higher if it needs to, but it doesn't necessarily have to, because it already tapped into the the discount level. So yeah, that's what we're here. Channel. the price is coming out of for GU as well. Same as EU. You can see price is just riding up this channel. Same thing in this side. You can see this is the top side of the channel. And as I told you, if price wants to go low, it needs to break high. It needs to break above the channel. And if it wants to come high, it needs to break under the channel. So if it wanted to continue bullish, it would come down first, take this low, and then give us a high. But because price is coming for this previous day high, as we know, that will lead to the break of the high side of the channel. Then we can start looking for the same sales again, for sales again. So let's remain vigilant and disciplined on these setups because right now we don't have anything. We don't have anything. Let's see if anyone in the chat took some trades today. Okay, these guys targeting previous day high pressure, break even set. Okay. You know, it's also right around the holiday time, so the market will be a bit choppy. The market will be choppy. Yeah. Okay. Telling you, sometimes trading can be boring. When price is not actively giving you opportunities, it's a boring skill. You're really just watching candles print. It's not like the most exciting thing. People are so excited to trade. I want to make money, 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 money. Not knowing that this level of patience and discipline is not for the weak. Okay. So I'm just gonna cut the call. As of right now, there's not really much going on. If we do end up catching a trade, let's say within the hour, price gives us something, I'll share it with you on the next video. Tomorrow is Friday, the last day of the week. We'll see if we have anything else to get in. Other than this, I hope you guys found some value in this, found some ways of reading the market from this, the levels of patience, intensity to approach the market with. Though we had an opportunity here with GU, as you know, we didn't take it because simply we are following our trading plan. We want to see how much R we can make, how much profit, how much P&L we can generate from following our trading plan over the next 30 days. So without further ado, drop a comment, share, follow the channel, subscribe. If you have any questions, DM me on Instagram. Don't be shy. Join our Discord. Be a part of the community and learn how to trade. I think it's a skill that everyone should have. Whether you have a job, whether you have a career, anything, it doesn't matter. You can still learn how to trade. It's not like you have to leave everything you're already doing. It's just learning a new skill. And I think that's going to be very important for you and your family. Other than that, peace.